Let's begin a journey to one of the most breathtaking worlds in our solar system, Saturn. Imagine a planet so vast it could hold more than 700 Earths inside it, yet delicate enough to float if we could place it in a cosmic ocean of water. Surrounding this giant is a shimmering crown of icy rings stretching across space like the brushstrokes of an artist. This is Saturn, the sixth planet from the Sun, and for many astronomers and dreamers alike, one of the most captivating objects in the night sky. Thanks to decades of exploration, especially from NASA's Cassini mission, we've been able to uncover Saturn's secrets through astonishing images and groundbreaking data. By the end of this journey, you might find yourself just as mesmerized by this gas giant as countless scientists and stargazers before you. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, a true giant among worlds. With an average radius 9 times greater than Earth, its immense bulk commands attention, yet its shape tells us something remarkable. Unlike Earth's near-perfect sphere, Saturn bulges at the equator, creating a noticeable flattening at the poles. At the equator, the radius stretches to over 60,000 kilometres, but at the poles it shortens by nearly 6,000. Despite this size, Saturn's density is astonishingly low, only about 70% that of water. In fact, it is the only planet in our solar system less dense than liquid water. If there were a cosmic bathtub large enough, Saturn would float. This paradox makes the planet fascinating, enormous in scale, but delicate in composition. Saturn is made mostly of hydrogen with smaller amounts of helium. Under the immense pressure inside the planet, hydrogen transitions into exotic forms. Scientists predict a layered structure, a central core of iron, nickel and rock wrapped by metallic hydrogen, then liquid hydrogen and helium, and finally the gaseous outer layers we see from space. At its core, Saturn burns with hidden intensity, and temperatures can reach 11,700 degrees Celsius hotter than the surface of the Sun. This intense heat causes Saturn to radiate more than twice the energy it receives from sunlight, glowing faintly in infrared as if lit from within. From a distance, Saturn appears calm, wrapped in muted hues of gold and pale yellow, but appearances deceive. Beneath the surface, the atmosphere is a restless world of powerful winds and storms. The winds here are second only to Neptune's in speed, racing at an incredible 1,800 kilometers per hour, fast enough to shred anything in their path. Every few decades, Saturn hosts a dramatic event, the Great White Spot, a planet-wide storm that dwarfs any hurricane on Earth. These tempests rage for months, creating scars across the planet's cloud tops. And when storms erupt, lightning flashes with unimaginable power. Cassini recorded bursts 1,000 times stronger than Earth's bolts. Imagine a lightning strike so fierce it could light up an entire city in a single flash. That is the scale of energy unleashed in Saturn's skies. So while we may gaze at Saturn's soft, serene beauty from afar, its atmosphere tells a story of chaos and violence hidden beneath its calm facade. Let's now turn our attention to Saturn's poles, where nature reveals some of its strangest designs. At the South Pole, scientists observed a massive hurricane-like vortex. It is the only place beyond Earth where we have seen something resembling an eye wall, with clouds spiraling around a central calm eye. But unlike a hurricane here at home, this storm is locked permanently in place, tethered to the pole. Even more bewildering is what we find at the North Pole, a storm shaped like a perfect hexagon. Each side of this six-sided structure stretches longer than the diameter of Earth. This geometric cloud formation rotates with the planet, yet remains astonishingly stable, defying our understanding of atmospheric physics. Why would nature, in the chaos of fluid dynamics, sculpt a storm into a hexagon? We still don't know. It's as if Saturn has etched a cosmic puzzle into its atmosphere, a mystery we have yet to solve. like Earth, Saturn is wrapped in a magnetic field strong enough to deflect the solar wind rushing outward from the sun. And just as Earth's magnetosphere creates the aurora borealis and Australis, Saturn too has shimmering curtains of light near its poles. But unlike the green and red hues we see on Earth, Saturn's auroras glow mostly in hydrogen's colours, ghostly blues and purples that flicker in the darkness. These lights flare brighter when solar winds intensify, moving closer to the poles in a cosmic dance, powered by invisible streams of charged particles. For us, auroras are a breathtaking natural wonder. On Saturn, they remind us that even far from Earth, the sun's influence still paints the skies with light. Now let's reach what is perhaps Saturn's most iconic feature, its magnificent rings. These structures make Saturn unique a planet, instantly recognizable in the night sky. The rings extend from about 66,000 kilometres above the planet's surface out to more than 120,000 kilometres, yet they are surprisingly thin, often less than a kilometre thick. Imagine something so vast it stretches hundreds of thousands of kilometres, but as delicate as a thin veil floating in space. Composed mostly of ice with traces of rock and dust, the rings are divided into several major bands, C, B, A, F, G and E. The B ring is the brightest and widest, while the faint D and G rings blend gently into space. Up close, the rings are not smooth, but alive with structure. Cassini revealed towering ridges, spokes and ripples that rise kilometres above the ring plane, casting dramatic shadows. These disturbances may be caused by Saturn's moons, especially the so-called shepherd moons. For example, Prometheus tugs on the F ring during its orbit, creating ripples and streamers like a hand running through water. The particles within the rings range from tiny grains of dust to chunks the size of buildings, each orbiting Saturn in a delicate ballet. Some scientists believe the rings may be remnants of shattered moons, while others suggest they are primordial, formed from the leftovers of Saturn's birth. The truth remains elusive, adding to their allure. And then there is the perspective that takes our breath away. In one Cassini image, the rings stretch majestically across the frame, and nestled within them a tiny pale dot Earth along with its moon. From Saturn's distance, our entire world is reduced to a speck of light, a humbling reminder of our place in the cosmos. But Saturn's story doesn't end with its rings. Orbiting this giant are more than 150 moons each with its own character. The largest Titan stands out as a world unto itself. Bigger than Mercury, Titan is the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere. Beneath its orange haze, rivers of liquid methane carve valleys, and vast lakes and seas stretch across its frozen surface. If there is anywhere beyond Earth where we might imagine rain falling and rivers flowing, Titan is that place. Then there is Mimas, a small moon scarred by a giant crater that makes it resemble the Death Star from science fiction. Other moons like Enceladus spew geysers of water into space, seeding Saturn's outer E-ring with fresh ice. Together, Saturn's moons form a miniature planetary system, each one adding a new layer to Saturn's rich and complex story. Saturn's path around the Sun takes it nearly 1 billion miles from Earth, about 9 times farther than our own orbit. As a result, one Saturnian year lasts the equivalent of 30 Earth years. Imagine celebrating your 30th birthday on Earth, only to realise Saturn has just completed a single lap around the Sun. But Saturn's days are much shorter. A day at the equator lasts only about 10 hours and 14 minutes. At other latitudes, it can be closer to 10 hours and 38 minutes. Because Saturn is not solid, different parts of the atmosphere rotate at slightly different speeds, making the concept of a day more complex than on Earth. Before we end our journey, let's take a moment to appreciate Saturn's beauty. Few sights in the solar system are as striking as Saturn bathed in the soft glow of its own rings. From golden hues near the equator to cooler azure tones, near the poles, its colours shift like an oil painting spread across the canvas of space. Scientists suspect these colours are tied to seasonal changes and temperature differences between hemispheres, but much remains uncertain. And that is perhaps the most powerful truth about Saturn. For all that we've learned, mysteries still abound. Saturn is a world of paradoxes, immense, yet delicate, serene, yet violent, familiar, yet alien. Its rings, moons, and storms remind us of the beauty and complexity of the cosmos. And as we continue to study it, Saturn will no doubt keep challenging our understanding of planets and the forces that shape them. So the next time you look up at the night sky and see a bright golden point of light, remember that is Saturn, a planet that continues to inspire awe, curiosity, and wonder.